All right, what's going on? It's Bobby Skinner talking Giants with your Week 12 Giants film review. And unfortunately, the Giants come off the bye week and they fall to 2-9. Or fortunately, if you want them to tank. But unfortunately for the players on this team, the coaches on this team, they're really bad. I'm a little bit fed up with it on a million different angles. We're only going to go through the first half on this film review because the game was 23-0 at the half. It was over. I may do something about the second half. I don't know. Been traveling this week, but this video is going to be only the first half of this game. So 22 plays we're going to go through. So let's get into it. Let's stop talking about doing it and just do it. Like and subscribe. First play. Play action. Details, right? This is the first play of the game. Bucs get in play action. They run double curls with the outlets down low. And this ends up being an incomplete pass because Baker throws a bad ball and it's too high. But just first play of the game, and we're lacking attention to detail. So it's play action, right? So we got to play our run keys, right? These four players, we got to play our run keys. Now we see his play action, right? Who is covering this area of the field? Who is covering this area of the field? We're in cover 3, 1, 2, 3 deep. You've got a flat defender, curl hook. Somebody needs to take care of this flat. Somebody needs to take care of the flat, and I believe it is Tyler Nubin. But we want to make a play, and we see this curl, right? We see this curl. We don't see an immediate threat out here, so we try and be instinctive in this one and undercut this, and we don't trust our teammate Micah McFadden. And guess what happens? First play of the game. I mean, luckily Baker Mayfield overthrows this because that's first play of the game. That's an easy 10, 12 yards for them. I mean, attention to detail. You have to trust that your linebacker is going to get underneath this. That your linebacker is going to get underneath this. Instead, we leave this wide open, and luckily Baker Mayfield overthrows the football. Next play, 3rd and 3. So Shane Bowen, I think schematically did some good things in this game. He changed up a lot of stuff, tried to throw some different looks than what they've been doing. You know, not just like that 4-3 stack that we were looking at in the game with Darius Moasow. But 3rd and 3, let's show blitz, right? This is that kind of a Wink Martindale look, or you're threatening cover 0. So we do. We still rush forward though, right? We mug up these linebackers right here. And they run a stick, they get a first down. Giants actually ran this inverted cover 2. Right, so cover 2, usually you have 2 deep safeties. One plays a deep half, the other plays another deep half. You have only one safety high, so you're trying to disguise this look. And you have your 2 outside corners. They become the deep half defenders. Tyler Nubin becomes this middle field defender. And then you have flat, curl hook, flat. And they run stick at it. And Baker's reading this. He sees these linebackers bail out. So we know we got zone coverage. So let's read the conflict player. That's Jason Pinnock. Right, we got the stick. He plays outside of this. So you're not going to throw the flat to Bucky Irving. That leaves the stick open. And I want to look at how Bobby Okereke plays this from the other side. Where he reads the route, right? And doesn't just sit in a spot. Right? He wants to undercut whatever route that they're throwing to Mike Evans and plays the route. Where Isaiah Simmons down here, we just get to our spot. And I understand you have this threat here, but you have to have and again, I may be nitpicking, right? On this one. But you see you got the stick. Get a little more aggressive with this. Again, and maybe if that happens, Baker gets off of that read and throws the ball to Cade Otton, the tight end. And Newman's not able to get down on it. But I would just like a little more covering a man and less grass. Right? Like, see what they're running. Get after it. But at the same time, you do have this threat here. So, not in a great spot anyways there. But still just wanted to go through that. Next play on defense. 3rd and short. Toss. Again, lack of detail. lack of doing your job. And they actually turned this into 4th and inches. So Tyler Nubin does a great job on the back end of this. So they run this motion. Nubin's going to shoot the gap, right? Play aggressive. That's what they want out of the nickel defender in this defense. Shoot the gap and get aggressive. Let's force him outside to the corner. Beautiful, right? Beautiful. Cordell Flott. Let's watch Cordell Flott on this. Just like Deontay Banks a couple weeks ago against the Panthers. Why are we jumping inside of this? You have to trust the other guys. You have to trust, because Tyler Nubin, you see where Tyler Nubin's coming? He's feeling to go inside of here. And Cordell Flott should be out here, and that should be funneling the back into Drew Phillips. Instead, Cordell Flott gets cheats on this. He gets greedy. He jumps inside of it because he doesn't really want to take on this block because it's a bigger defender. And now, 44, Sean Tucker, now he just gets the race to the corner. He gets the race to the corner. And luckily, he's not the fastest back in the world, and Drew Phillips is able to get a piece of him. But that should be like a 3-4 yard tackle for a loss. You know, if Cordell Flott does his job on this, this is a tackle for a loss. Instead, it's a yard gain, puts them in 4th and short, and they're able to convert. Right, and a good job by Nubin, right? Seeing that Cordell Flott jumps inside and then changing his track. You see how his track changes from here to bang? Like, good job by him. So now you get 4th down. And I want to let's look at the defense a little. Let's watch the play. They get this run. 4th and short, man, and we're not ready at the snap. We're pointing here, we're pointing here. We're just not ready. And they get a nice easy couple yards and get a conversion. Right? We're just not set. We're not ready to go. Our linebackers are not ready to go on this. We're confused. Right? Confusion. They snap the ball. Dexter Lawrence does a good job on the double team. Armon Watts gets squeezed down. So Nubin, McFadden get aggressive. Okay, we need you to get more aggressive. Got to fill. It's 4th down, man. Take a chance. Get downhill. Trust that your nickel corner is going to be in here and your safety is going to fill behind him. Get downhill and go. Instead, you tell me. Tell me if you feel good about that play. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't. All right, now we're on offense for the New York Giants. First play, it's a good play. We get ourselves a nice 16-yard run on this inside zone against the run blitz for Tyrone Tracy with the fullback. And you see the benefits of the fullback. Right, Bucks run a run blitz. So you're going to see Kalijah Cansey and Vita Vea, they're going to jump gaps. They're going to jump down a gap, right? They're going to jump down a gap, and the linebackers are going to fill down aggressively and fill that gap. All right, so Cansey, you see, works inside. He beats Greg Van Roten, and he's in the backfield, but because it's zone, we just play to the backside of him. And this linebacker is getting downhill so quickly that JMS is not going to get there. So JMS just works to the backside linebacker. Van Roten hinges on this. Neal gets good initial movement on this. Chris Manhurst does a good job. And then you have Bellinger lined up at fullback. Bam. Not the best block in the world, but you get the placement that you want in there. And look at this gap. Look at this hole. We get upfield. We get ourselves a nice 16-yard run to start the day, and that was basically the end of a lot of the positives on offense. Next, so they get a first down, a second down. Now we have a 3rd and 8. They had a 2-yard run, and then they ran Tommy DeVito. Now we got 3rd and 8. And what the Bucks do is they show blitz, right? We've got 3 down linemen. We got 2 linebackers. We got a safety down here. Right? We're going to show blitz. 4 of these 6, 5 of these 6, or all 6 of these guys are going to come. Right? Nope. We're actually the nickel corner is going to come. And they're going to end up getting a sack. So, this is what the Bucks do. Right? And you have this player cheating over. So this player is not blocked. Right? The quarterback is responsible for him. They end up blitzing Winfield down here. We'll talk about that. But the Giants up top are running a smash, a high-low read. And it's a choice for Wan'Dale, right? He can break this in. He's not going to do that. He can break it out. They're bracketing it. I mean, and look at just how ready they are for it, right? How ready they are for this. This has been all year, no matter who the quarterback, just how ready they are for this choice route. They just play from off, and they drive on this shit, right? Just no fear of them protecting this up and getting this ball to Darius Slayton. Just no fear of that at all. And even then, this is short of the sticks, right? Even if you're able to throw this ball out there, this ends up being short of the sticks, and it's just been way too predictable. Right, you're getting this blitz look. Ideally, you'd like to see these safeties rotate, and then you get Neighbors a one-on-one here. You know, we talked about getting him the ball earlier in the half, early in the game. Like, this could be an opportunity for him, 3rd and 8, right? You're versus the Bucs. You're probably not going to block everything up perfectly and get the cover, you know, read the coverage. Just take advantage of the one-on-one. But they do show some pre-snap help. And it's short, right? And then the protection up front stinks from Evan Neal. Stinks. We've got Kalijah Kancey, a defensive tackle at the edge. And he just works us, man. Works us. Times up our punch. Works laterally. Gets those hands off of us. Bad balance. And here we are. Giving Tommy DeVito no chance on this play. Because this is the defender that Tommy DeVito is responsible for. Right, and it's probably not in his best interest to fire this in there. That's how you get an interception. Or you do, and you live for the 4th and 4 or whatever. But DeVito makes this guy miss, right? He gets in the air, right? DeVito's responsible for this defender. He makes him miss. That's not how you draw it up on the whiteboard, but he does do that. But instead, because Evan Neal's not able to block Kalijah Kancey, well, he's making a miss, and he's stepping right up into a sack. And that's on 73. This isn't the Carolina Panthers. Next play. What do we have on this? Back on defense for the Giants. Just Deonte Banks getting beat by Mike Evans. And this is some of those things. And, you know, I've talked about where whenever Deonte Banks is cheating leverage-wise, that's where I would attack from, right? Because he's cheating with outside leverage on this. But he's just so easily influenced by these, you know, foot jabs and route sell that whenever he's cheating, because he just doesn't want to play from behind, right? Let's say that Mike Evans is going to run an in-breaker, right? And he has his help is in the middle, by the way, too, right? So you should be more willing to give him the in-breaker than the out-breaking route, because that's where your help is. Even though there's play action and you may get burnt on that. But again, it's been just a constant theme with Deonte Banks that when he is cheating his leverage one way, if you throw some route sell, a foot jab like this, he doesn't want to get beat. So he gets over aggressive to try and stop the in-breaker, and that puts him totally out of place. Puts him totally out of place because he's like, oh shit, I'm cheating outside. I got to really go if he's going to throw an in-breaker at me. Gets us out of place. And we get beat easy for an out route. And again, there's other bad plays in this game too by Deonte Banks. But it's just, when we talk about technique, that's the type of stuff that's consistently showed up with Deonte Banks in year 2. And you might get away with that in a blitz-heavy, you know, defense where you're covering wide receiver 2s, man. When you're relying on your rush, you're going to have some good coverage on wide receiver 1s, or they're going to eat you. Let me rephrase that. They're going to eat against you consistently. Next play, 3rd and 6. Actually, a good play from the defense. Stealing a little bit from the Wink Martindale playbook. Watch Isaiah Simmons. Bam, Isaiah Simmons bail into this deep safety look. But we have this, you know, look. We have the linebacker up here. We have Pinnock down here at nickel. This was a play, and I actually went back and looked at my notes from last year. This is the play that Wink Martindale ran last year, where you have Simmons at linebacker. We're going to blitz the nickel corner, right? So we're going to blitz the nickel corner. We're going to have the safety, even though Pinnock is the nickel corner on this. You're going to have the safety replace him in man coverage, and then you have the deep safety get replaced by Isaiah Simmons because he's athletic enough to bail to the center field. And you just play man coverage, and Newbin makes a great play on this, right? Sees it, is patient, doesn't get over aggressive on it, doesn't fall for that route sell by Mike Evans that we just talked about, and gets his hands on the football for the first time this year. Right? Patient on this. Patient. Stay patient. Stay patient on it. He declares, and then you go. You drive. You fight for that inside leverage. Get your hand on the football. Good shit, right? Baker reads this blitz by Jason Pinnock. We want to get the ball out quick. We got it, Mike Evans. We got Mike Evans one-on-one. Bam, Tyler Newbin. Second rounder gets his first pass breakup of the year. All right, we see the blitz by Pinnock. Newbin replaces. Simmons bails to the deep the post safety. Again, stay patient. Nice pass breakup for Tyler Newbin. And then back on offense. Again, 3rd and 6. 3rd and 6. We run. They have this blitz look, right? We have this blitz look, and we run the same play. Smash with the choice, right? The same. Now, you almost get it this time, right? You end up getting 4th and short. But still, just look how ready defenses are on this. I mean, they just know it. Right there, the Bucs are running a fire zone, so you have all these defenders out here. You get some guys that drop back out, and they just know. They know that this ball is going to Wan'Dale Robinson. And this time you do protect it up. And maybe this is because the Giants were going to go for it on 4th down, that the coaching point here is just take it with Wan'Dale. Take the 4 or 5 yards. Maybe you get the first down. If not, we get for the 4th down. But this time it gets protected up. Like we can hang in here and hopefully get a big play to Darius Slayton behind them. Right? We talk about wanting more aggression from our quarterback play. Instead, we get a 4th and short. But we protect this up, man. I know we're Monday morning quarterback bang bang decision, but there's got to be some look at, like, they're not going to leave 1 for 2. They're not going to leave 1 for 2. So maybe hang in there, make this defender declare, right? Even if you hang in there for just another half a beat, this defender then has to leave with Darius Slayton. Well, that leaves more space for Wan'Dale to get the run and catch here. But we fire the ball out quick. We get 4th and 1, and we decide to go for it. So here's the thing. I think that this was a trick play, and it's not because it was just a speed sweep. I really think Brian Daboll was just hoping the Bucs wouldn't be ready for the ball to be snapped. Because it tricked me. I was in the stands. I'm like, they're not snapping the ball. So you line up Tommy DeVito in the gun. All right? So you line him up in the gun. This is like typical, we're not going to actually go for it. We're just trying to get you to jump off sides, 4th down and 1 stuff. You have DeVito get into center, right? They fill right here. They don't jump off sides. Alert, alert, alert. But here's the thing. It feels like they're trying to trick him because you never put Tracy behind DeVito. Now, you could hand this ball off here, but that's not a great look to do that in. The Bucs would love for you to do that. Or, maybe throw crack toss. But again, you just don't have the numbers for that. So the next thing when you're trying to get him to jump off sides, put somebody in motion. Unfortunately, the Bucs don't fall for it. And they're ready to go. Right? And they're calling out what you're going to do. You'll see it up front here. Right, we get under center. All right, get up in these A-gaps. Fill every single gap. Right? We've got the numbers. Fill every single gap here. We're bumping it out. Levante David sniffs it out, bump it out. I mean, before the snap even goes, he's working out here. These D linemen, they're flowing with the play. And then you have these guys just come in here, 3 bust shit up, and you just don't have a play. You don't have a play to be made, and the Giants end up giving the Bucs great field position. Grab your favorite team's jersey and some snacks and head to the couch for another Sunday or Thursday, because it's Thanksgiving, of action-packed football, and get even closer to the action each Thursday and Sunday with our partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, all new customers who bet just $5 will get $150 in bonus bets if your bets wins when you use code WORLD. How about that? Thanksgiving? Beautiful, beautiful. And if sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy and have the shot to win. Guess what? Cash prizes. How about that? So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code WORLD and bet just $5 in any wager and get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. That's promo code WORLD only at DraftKings Sportsbook. You'll be glad you did. Dude, we got some Thanksgiving football, man. You got to get some skin in the game. Get your skin in the game. Now, I want to highlight good coverage on this play, a good play call, yet a very bad result. Right? And this sometimes it comes down to something as simple as the pass rush. So, down bottom here, this is the play that the Giants run a lot. Now, I'm not the most familiar with this type of play call, but I think it's stubby, where on the outside you have man coverage, man everywhere you go, and then you have a triangular coverage for the defense, right? 1, 2, 3, where you have outside, inside, and then this player's the innermost vertical, right? So if any of these receivers goes vertical, he has the one that's on the inside the most. And then on the top side, you have cover 2 split with it, right? And that's what you get up here. Right, this is cover 2. Really good coverage here, right? Like Baker could throw this, but you for this return route, that's bracketed. This is covered. Your man coverage here, and then up here, you've got cover 2. So you're not gonna this is really good coverage. Awesome job by Shane Bowen. Awesome job by the secondary. Why does this become a big play? And we'll all see Deonte Banks chasing Mike Evans on this play and blame him. It's his fault, and it's his fault. You're supposed to be the strength of this team. There's no Dexter Lawrence on the field. We have no second defensive tackle, so you have Armon Watts, who, 80% of the fan base doesn't even know who he is, where he came from. I do, because I'm a freak. So I'm not expecting much from him. Not expecting much from DJ Davidson. I am expecting Brian Burns to do more than that versus Luke Gadecki. I'm expecting more than trying to work the corner and then draw a holding penalty. I'm expecting Kayvon Thibodeau versus a backup left tackle to do more than that. How about we bring some power to our game? Okay, okay, this isn't college. You don't just get to use hand fight. Let's move forward. So again, blame Deonte Banks for this. Oh my gosh, Banks gave him another play. That goes up on a stat sheet. Get after the quarterback. This isn't the Minnesota Vikings tackle duo. All right, not next play, but this is the fumble. So I wanted to put this on here because this was these idiots. I don't think anybody saw this besides Baker Mayfield and Armon Watts late. Because it's not like, Giants are lack of effort, right? They don't care. Because, none of the Bucs players, except for the one guy who's behind it all. I don't know how this ball squeezed out, but this isn't laziness from Brian Burns or Dexter Lawrence or Micah McFadden, right? This is them. Tyler Newman is just pointing that way, we got to stop. And Baker Mayfield knows it. So, again, it's a play that gets remembered and but I actually don't blame anybody on that. If anything, good job by Bubba Okereke forcing a fumble on that play. Right, this was a 3rd and goal. All right, you get Vita Vea here. Belton actually does a pretty good job on Vea. Okereke fills inside. Makes a stop. So if anything, good defense by the Giants on that, even though that'd be remembered as a negative play. All right, next play. What do we have? Oh, so back on offense, 1st and 10. Stick. So you have all this motion, which means you have man coverage. And DeVito doesn't throw it. So you do all this motion to get the man identifier on this stick concept. Throw the flat. Now, here's the thing. I hate running stick with a receiver out of the backfield because then there's just so much onus for yak, and you have a DB covering that instead of a linebacker or a safety, right? The Giants in 2022, they would run stick with Saquon, where they'd have Saquon on the swing. That's just... Now, again, I think DeVito needs to throw this. Throw this, right? You get man coverage. Ideally, you would like Isian right here out of Rutgers to undercut this and give yourself an angle. But still, this is what you're supposed to throw here. This is what you're supposed to throw. Instead, we get off of it, right? Like, if you're not going to throw it here, what are we still looking at this point? Get off of it, right? We get back to the backside. You've got, I mean, maybe you fire this hitch in here to Jalen Hyatt, but I just doubt that. And then you get beat for a sack. But again, this is where it's like the quick game stuff with DeVito. It's not these with DeVito, the mistakes aren't, oh my gosh, this guy threw into triple coverage. That doesn't really happen with him. What happens is we don't throw the quick game, and what would be 2nd and 9 turns to 2nd and 16, which is what I think this is. Or you don't give Wan'Dale Robinson, opportunity out here to make Christian Isian miss and get some yak. Instead, we're getting a sack. Bad stunt pickup up front on the right side, and JMS just allows Logan Hall just beats you, right? Just beats your JMS. So when you get beat, you're not able to peel off and pick up this. And DeVito ends up taking a sack. Unfortunate. Next play on offense. Again, this is Sale with a shallow cross on the backside, which I like this, right? It's 5 to one side, right? So we are flooding the zone. So the shallow cross part of this, you have Daniel Bellinger on the sit, hitch, and then Malik Neighbors not throwing the ball to him on this. So what you get is Sale, which is your vertical, your corner, right out here, and then the underneath. 3-level read. And you get it versus cover 2. And I know you got to be kind of quick on your thinking, but when this corner plays this so aggressively, because a lot of times, like we talk about hole shots, right? And a hole shot would be this corner would kind of follow Jalen Hyatt to here, but still plays right here, and then you're like having to pull a trigger now and fit this ball right here between the safety. And that's a hard throw to make. It's an aggressive throw. It's a throw that can make the difference between you being a good quarterback and a bad quarterback, or a decent quarterback and a bad quarterback, or a great quarterback and a good quarterback. But there's really no excuse, because this is, like, Jalen Hyatt is part of the progression, right? He's not just a clear out on this. Like, it's a 3-level read. 1, 2, 3, high to low. You see... And this is what we're looking at right here, right? You see this corner play this overly aggressively. We gotta fire this. We gotta fire this out here to Jalen Hyatt right now. I mean, you even have time to second guess on this and make this throw. Instead, we throw this to Eric Gray, right? If anything, like, it'd be one thing if he didn't take the shot on this, but why are we throwing this? I mean, he's here. The defender's here. Right? It's one thing to try and hang in there, or you get off to the backside and you throw the shallow to Malik Neighbors. But this is, I mean, this is just the wrong choice. This is a hesitancy and the wrong choice. Again, that's a big difference between success and failure. A big difference between success and failure. That's difference between, possibly getting points before the half or getting shut out. That's not good. Next play, 3rd and 16. 3 curls, doesn't pull the trigger. These deep I mean, you get the coverage you're looking for, man. I know it's a disguised look where you have this player bail and play deep. But this is the big, like, this throw gets made. Daniel Jones made this throw versus the Panthers, a couple weeks ago. Now, there was times where he didn't make it. Like, it's bracketed on the outside, right? So you shouldn't. Like, don't even look on the outside. And then, all right, can we fire this in? Not the easiest throw. Bang, bang. Wan'Dale's going to take a little bit of a hit. But you need to either throw this or check it down to your outlets out here. Instead, we scramble looking for a big play, and instead we just get added 5 yards onto the punt. But the way these guys play this, man, this is able to be fired in, right? This isn't Monday morning quarterbacking. Fire this bitch in there. It's there. It's a bang bang throw, but that's what we want. We want, again, not recklessness, but aggression. And that's not reckless. That's aggressive. All right, back on defense. Again, a lot of this 4-3 stack stuff, the big negatives of it came in the second half, but the Giants matched Buccaneers' heavy personnel, trying to stop the run with this 4-3 stack where you have 4 down linemen and then 3 stack linebackers with Moasa, Okereke, and McFadden. I actually kind of like it in theory. In practice part that I don't like about it is that it puts number 53 Darius Moasa on the field. He just doesn't belong on the field. So Bucs run play action. Giants are in cover 3. They cover this well, right? That Yankee thing, they cover this really well. So Baker Mayfield's got to scramble. And then Payne Durham just makes a play on Darius Moasa. Payne Durham's not very fast. He's not athletic. He's not a great receiving threat, but something me and Justin and all the boys learned in Mobile, Alabama. You throw something his way, he'll probably bring it down if you give him a chance at it, and he does that. And he's a hell of a blocker. Love Payne Durham. But I'm going to talk about this because I'm not expecting much out of him. You know who I'm expecting a lot out of? Number 0, number 5. Yeah, I'm not expecting to get blocked by a fullback here and washed out of the play. I mean, you should be winning that. You should be tossing him around. Brian Burns. What are we working upfield for, man? We're getting work. We're letting Baker Mayfield do whatever he wants. And then Payne Durham makes a play like that. I love Payne Durham. I kind of like a good amount of the guys the Bucs have drafted. You know I'm a Kansas freak. Next play, 6-yard touchdown run. Brian Burns guessing. Brian Burns guessing leaves his teammate number 22 on an island. So Brian Burns is guessing, trying to sack hunting, looking for that. Right, chasing Baker Mayfield. What happens there? You've got this gap accounted for. Micah McFadden playing this gap. Nacho playing this gap. Bobby Okereke playing this gap. Dexter Lawrence playing this gap. And now we're leaving our nickel corner the 2 gap here. We're leaving our nickel corner the 2 gap here because our defensive end didn't squeeze this down. Didn't squeeze this down and allow Drew Phillips just to run through here. And then allow Pinnock to follow through. And they get a walk-in touchdown. Because we're looking for the sack instead of playing the run. Ain't much more to break down on that shit. What else do you want me to break down there? Next play on offense. And this is the way the Giants are going to be played with DeVito quarterback. I mean, they're going to sell out versus the run. Right? The Giants have found some rushing success since Tyrone Tracy was inserted to the starting lineup. And besides JMS, this is blocked fairly well. Right, like a good combo here from the tight ends. Not a great job by Evan Neal, but you can live with that. Van Roten's working up to the second level. Runyon gets to the second level. Chris Hubbard does his job. Now JMS gets pushed in the backfield by Vita Vea. That's just a matchup he's not... Actually, is that even Vea? Yeah, that's not even Vea. So bad job by JMS. But the backside end's going to play this aggressively. But if JMS doesn't get blown up, we could press this more. Instead, we got to make our cut up field quicker. But you see the end just yaya diaby. And maybe this is just the Bucs, but there's just no respect for the QB boot on this. But the part of that too is when you play aggressive like that, you get this. You get this Theo Johnson leak play. All right, Giants finally get the leak. They get man coverage, heavy run formation. They're getting see these linebackers, right? See these linebackers, see this defensive end. We're playing this. And Theo Johnson just leaks over here. We're in man coverage up top. Easy money. Nice big play. Take advantage of their aggressiveness, using that play action. Leak is a play that everyone loves to run. The Giants have not been able to get it this year. In fact, they've had interceptions and almost interceptions on it. This time, though, they make it more shallow, and you get the big play out of it because it was just totally uncovered. It's not even he's got a few steps on a guy. So good, good job taking advantage of the Bucs' aggression a couple plays later after they get that run stop on you. Next play, this is JMS just getting destroyed by Vita Vea. We're play action, 4 verts, right, out and up for Neighbors, and Slayton, right, 4 verts, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're in cover 4, so they're in a good coverage for it. Or cover 6, excuse me. Maybe it is cover 4, and this corner just sees the sack. But DeVito's getting hit right here. We're not throwing this ball anywhere. Unless you want to have the most anticipation in the world of Malik Neighbors. This is one of those, JMS is, it's hard to really tell how good of a center is just by watching the game on Sunday. I think JMS has been a league average center, but I think one thing we've seen for sure is that he's not going to be this really good center. He's not going to go toe-to-toe with Vita Vea. Now you don't want to get overly aggressive with Vita Vea because then he'll take advantage of you. But when you're on your heels and you let him bring the punch, he's going to do that. He's going to, bam, get underneath you and just toss you to the side like you're a running back. And that's, again, I think JMS has been a league average center this year. I don't watch every center, but I've watched centers before, and I think he's a league average center. There's days where he looks above average, and there's days where he looks below average, which that makes you average. But those plays like that are the plays that's going to make everyone call you below average because that's rough. That's really, really rough. Next play, last offensive play. Again, this is part of the DeVito, and this is only the first half that we're going through in this film review. I might do the second half of this game. This is 3rd and 16. We run verts. Right? We're just trying to get some yards back. Maybe we kick a field goal. Maybe we go for it on 4th down. Why aren't we pulling the trigger here? We got a clean pocket. Right? Just this little bit of pressure. Seeing this blitz look spooks him a bit. Ball should be out. Ball should be out. Ball should be out, and we should be talking about a 4th down decision by Brian Dable. Instead, we panic by that pressure. We roll out needlessly. And I don't know if we're throwing this ball away or if it's just a bad throw, but it goes into the sideline. Now you're not getting it. Now you're just punting. Right? So we saw some plays where it's what is DeVito supposed to do? But he gets put behind because of shit like that. And that's the difference between points and, again, that's the difference between embarrassing loss and 30-17 loss. And then last play on defense, Drew Phillips. They're going to run a screen. Make your tackle. As simple as that. Drew Phillips has been really fun to watch. He's really good in the run defense. He's done well in coverage. The open field tackling was an issue at Kentucky. Now that issue gets mitigated a bit when you're in the slot compared to outside corner. But we've seen in the Pittsburgh, the Commanders game where you saw 2 big missed tackles lead to big plays, and then this. It matters. Now, you're a rookie. We're not going to judge you as harshly, but if that's happening in year 2 and year 3, those are the plays you get remembered by. But I do love the effort to get back there and end up making the play. Right? No quit on this. And, I know effort's been a big thing. Do you spot any, bad effort on this? A good effort from Drew Phillips to chase down and make that play. So I hope you guys enjoyed the film review. You probably didn't. Let's be real. You probably didn't. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. We'll have a podcast out previewing the Thanksgiving game, recapping it as well. We'll see you then. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Until then, let's go Big Blue.